Oh, there we go. I think I also had the thing muted. Alright, I can see the live chat here, so if anybody is watching and they can hear the sound, then just let me know. Oh, there we go. Alright, so it sounds like the sound is now working, so I guess I'll try that again. Ding Dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Jobless Coder, and today we're going to be doing a live stream of the game that I recently updated. This is Halloween Decoration Sandbox, and basically, it's an open world sandbox game that allows you to customize this level with Halloween decorations and then walk around in it. It's officially out on Steam. There is a link in the description for a Google form. If you enter your email there, then at the end of the live stream, I'll be picking one random person to send a copy of a Steam key, so you could actually win the chance to play this game for free. But the purpose of this stream today is to accomplish several different tasks. First of all, I'm basically just a one-man studio, other than my one friend who helps out with the 3D models and animations, and he's made quite a few of them for the game. He's pretty good at it, actually. Other than that, I basically do everything else. I do all of the marketing and putting the videos together, and doing the coding, of course, and the bug testing, so it can be rather difficult when I don't have, say, a dedicated marketing team to hand this off to and be like, oh, here, make a trailer. No, I need to sit down and spend 3 hours doing that myself. So by doing this live stream, it's going to allow me to, number one, test for bugs that I may not have noticed before. Number two, it's also going to give me the opportunity to build out an example level here that's better than the first one. In the first level that comes with the game, when you first open it up, there's a demo scene that you're going to get, and it's not very good, and I'll go through that demo scene in a second here and show you why it's not very good. I kind of made it in haste last year when I was rushing for time to get it out in time for Halloween, and so today I'm going to spend about 2 hours and I'm going to redo that demo scene, so that way I can get a better one for the next example of the game. So I guess what I should do here is I should actually load up the game. Let me switch over to my desktop and load up the game. So you can see at the bottom here it says version 1.2.1 beta, and so I think I have it muted because of the lightning crash. So let me just turn the sound back up. There's no sound in the actual game in the level editor, but you can create custom sounds. So let me just load up the free play game here, and I'm actually going to switch to... Let me add my webcam. Put my webcam in the corner here. But I did not have very much time to get this set up because I was busy working on the game, doing the updates. So you get to see me here trying to set this up in real time. See if I can. Alright, that's going to give you the most amount of we have the demo scene, and I'm just going to load up the demo scene to give you an idea of what it looks like, and so you can get an idea of what you can accomplish by playing this game. I only ever did a live stream once before, and that was for the So I already had the XSplit broadcaster set up for that, but I just had to go in and get the settings configured right for this one here. But I think we're ready to go and get into some actual gameplay. As well, there's a release just last night that supports VR. So if you've got a VR headset like an Oculus Rift or whatnot, you can basically design and edit the sandbox in the editor using the desktop screen, and then you can switch over to the first person view, which looks like this, in order to walk around. So if we kind of lift up the camera here, and we'll pull the camera just slightly back, you can pan around the scene, and you can see we've got this basic setup here with the houses, and these blue things represent audio spheres. So you can actually come down, and let's move the camera down here and bring it down. You can see that there's an audio box right here, and so that audio box has this sound range attached to it, and if you walk within within the range, then you'll start to hear the sound from that specific box. Unfortunately, there's no way to edit or move any of the decorations after they've been placed, so a lot of the decorations in this demo scene are like floating in the air and stuff because they were placed before a lot of the logic got and the bugs got fixed. But now that they're in place, it's really difficult to move them. That is an intended feature I want to add, where you can say come down here and you want to move that pumpkin. The feature I plan to have is where you would move the mouse over, it would highlight, you can select that, and then you can pull it in any one of the cardinal directions to move the decoration around. And so, let me just see here. We're going to go into first person viewer to give you an idea. So this is basically the view you're going to get in your VR headset while you're walking around. You still have to use the mouse and keyboard in order to move. And I'm going to have to turn on my fan speed here because it's cooking my legs. I've got my laptop on my lap here and it's really hot. These spinning discs...
Say trick or treat!
So at the top left you can see that there's an indicator that shows you your progress for the trick or treat points. And so let me actually go back to the sandbox. We're going to go to the settings and we're going to enable the mini map. And then what you're going to see is when you go back to the first person view, you can see on the mini-map they've got directional arrows that point to where the candies are. So if we come over here, and you see that one candy right here, that's that directional arrow pointing to
Happy Halloween, trick or treat!
and then it disappears as soon as it drops the candy out. So, this is the example scene, and as you can see over here, like I mentioned before, some of the trees are floating. So I want to be able to edit the trees after they've been placed to bring them down to the terrain so they're not floating up in the air. I've got a fog machine over here. The particles of the fog machine now work. They actually look pretty decent. Before it was causing major performance issues when you were looking at it, because I was using 1,000 particles for each one, and there was like 100 being replicated every second. So I had somewhere in the range of 100,000 to 1,000,000 particles being rendered in real time on the screen, and that was just because I didn't have the particle effects set up properly. But now it's only rendering about 10 or 20 of the actual particles, and they're really big, and there's only 25 within each, so there's only 1,000 particles at most on the screen, and you still get that visually appealing fog effect that you're going to want for a game like this. So you see over here, if I get closer to the sound,
Happy Halloween, trick or treat!
So if we leave and go out of the sound box, then we get back to that no sound. so let's go back to the main menu and let's start a brand new sandbox here. Alright, so as you can see, this is what the default sandbox looks like when it's empty here. You can toggle the grid on and off like this. You can get down here. So I had some ideas for what I want this sandbox to look like, and I think the very first thing I'm going to start with, well, I'm going to show the texture modifications first of all. So you can generate a random terrain like this, for example. But I'll tell you why I'm going to be using flat terrain for this example, is because if you have the terrain, let's say you have the terrain that's really hill like this, I'll show you some of the issues that haven't been resolved because I'm not using any IK handles right now. So if we say we want to place down a building, and we want to place down the mausoleum, you can see how the mausoleum is kind of clipping into the terrain there. That's because it's being set at the base and it's not being rotated correctly. Ideally, it should rotate to match the orthogonal axis coming off of the terrain, and so that can be done just using the code. I need to implement that. So I don't want to use the terrain as it is right now like this, because when you can do here, you can come down, you can flatten the terrain, and you see how it stays floating in the air. So instead, I'm just going to undo that, and then we're just going to keep it flat for the purpose of this video. But if you do want a terrain of different heights, you can, you know, raise and lower the height here. You can also right click to lower it. You can increase the brush width. There's no smoothing feature yet, but we do have that intended to be coming. We can also set the height. So if we want to have a height set to a specific level, you can do this, and then you can see the height is being set to a specific level. So then we can lower that level down, make the brush a bit thinner. You see it sets it to that level. Another feature is the terrain painting, which I will be using. So let me go back here, in the terrain. So I'm going to go to paint texture. And so if we select, say, grass, we can fill the terrain with grass. And you can see now we've got the grass texture. You can select mud. Now we've got the mud texture. So I think for this one, I'm going to just leave it on the default of the dirt, because that's the one that looks the best. Some of the textures that we have implemented don't look the greatest. Need to get some work making some better textures for the ground. So we'll just leave it on the grass for now and just not bother with any of the terrain stuff. We'll just focus on the decoration part here for today. So you can see this yellow marker down here indicates where the player starts, and we can move that around. And so if we can move it over there, we can also undo that, and then we can redo that action and undo it. The undo and redo works for moving the marker. It also works for setting candy locations. So if I add a new trick or treat point right there, I can also undo that, and it removes it from the list, and then redo it. So it works for these two, and as you can see, this bug I just found. Now I can infinitely redo the trick or treat spots. So in order to fix that, let's just clear the sandbox. Set the spawn point here. Now just to make sure that that actually worked, let's load the autosave. Okay, good. There's nothing in the sandbox. Alright, so I'll note down... oh, hello! There's somebody in the chat. Alright, so I got a mental note of that bug now, and I guess we'll open up here and do some decorating. So we're gonna go into the buildings, and I want to pull the camera back as far as I can. And we're gonna put a church, and I want the church to be right in the center of the map, like that. So you can see the church comes with a little graveyard already, right at the base of the church, but I want to expand upon that graveyard here. So we're going to go back. We're going to go into the tombstone. Alright, so I have this feature added where you can now customize the tombstone, which basically allows you to paint whatever you want on it and add different text and stuff, and that's only available on the tombstones that have that little icon next to them with the pencil. So if I actually click on this right now, I can place a tombstone down here and it doesn't do anything, but if I select the customized tombstone, I can do this. Let's scale it up a bit and rotate it like this. We'll place it right here. So then, what should we do for the custom text? Let's say, my boss. Rest in peace, my boss. We're going to increase the size of the font here on the tombstone. Let's make it 48. You can also set the color and the brush size. So let's go with brush size 6. Put an eye here and there. So then you can see there's a preview of the new texture map in the left hand corner here. So let's go ahead and save that. So now if we go back here and we load from the autosave, you can see that it correctly loads the church with the two tombstones that we put down there, and the one has been customized. So that's just a little bit of extra feature here that allows you to expand upon the customizability of the sandbox. Eventually, at one point, I would like the ability to support, you know, the modding community to be able to create their own models and implement them into the game using their own texture maps and stuff. The next major release in terms of features after the VR, now that the VR has been set up and working, the next major thing to work on is the Steam Workshop, which will allow you to export your sandboxes to the cloud basically, and then share them with other people so they can download and play through what you've created. So let's just turn that off. Let's just place down a couple more tombstones all around here. Let's fill up this area. You can also clone objects by pressing the tab, and it saves its scale and rotation. I can press the tab again. We're gonna do another one here. Add another tombstone. Let's make its rotation slightly like this. And we're gonna make a broken one over here. Put a broken one over there. Let's make that one customized here. Right, so just gonna color this. Let's make it all black. gonna say this is there. We're gonna set the font color to the brush color. We can make our own custom text on this. So let's go here, let's bring it down to 72. We can pick a different font here too. So let's go with that. So now you can see that one gets produced on the back side of this tombstone. So come over here, you can see that custom text that we just made. Oh, I did not want to customize that one, so we'll just leave that one as is. Oh. It appears that my mouse has disappeared. Alright. I guess that's a major game breaking bug, because I can't get my mouse back. I'm gonna have to restart and load up the sandbox. So let's stop that. The saving and loading feature is pretty robust, so at least we haven't lost any of our work. Just load up the autosave, make sure that you don't create a new sandbox or that will overwrite the autosave feature. it's not. Oh, is it back? Oh, it sounds okay. Let's see if we can try this again. I'm gonna have to keep the speaker volume on my phone really low, so that way you can, so that way I can hear what's going on. Alright. I'm gonna turn my speaker off, and if there's any more problems with the audio, just let me know in the chat there. Alright. Let's get back to what we were doing here. Building out a fence. So that's a good amount of fence around the cathedral there. Let's also add a fog machine over here behind the graveyard. So go to decorations, go down to the special effects. We're going to add a fog machine right behind this one here. Now if we try that out in the first person viewer, one of the fixes of the latest update improved the fog. Before it was not working that well, but now it does work. It takes a little bit for the machine to turn on here. So now the fog fills up the area here that we're in. Very spooky. Edit mode here. I'm going to put one of the new cardboard cutouts on the side of the church here. So under the cardboard cutouts, we've got 5 new cutouts that are in here. We have these 4 ghosts, and then we've also got this one here. So if I select the ghost, I can snap it there, and I can come over here. I can also select a pumpkin and put a pumpkin there. So let's see if we can build somewhat of a path leading up to this cathedral here. So we're going to go into the scenery again. The size of the vehicles were modified, so the size of the road I'm going to have to modify to be twice as large. In here, we've got the warp tunnel, so let's scale it a little bit here. Let's make it the stars. So now if we place the actor spawn right in front of it there, we can come back into the first person view and we can walk up the ramp here. And then if this was in VR mode, then you'd be able to look around inside the tunnel here as well. Paint a bit of the texture over here. See how that looks. So let's come down here. I want to put a pumpkin on the steps. A cathedral. Let's animate the pumpkin so that it's flashing. Scale it up a little bit. So you can see the animation for the pumpkin there. That texture needs a little bit of work from the looks of it. It's way too big for this size. Over here, put down one of the houses that I got. Here. And over on this other side of the church, I'm going to put down the barn. I want to paint this entire area over here to look like the cornfield texture. Oh, I think, let me go to the audio mixer here and turn down my system sound. That'll help with the audio of the game there. Paint the cornfield around the barn. out the one of the new decorations that we've got. Is under scenery and then vehicles. And we've got this abandoned fruit truck. So let's rotate it around here. Should be on this side. Right here, so you can turn it on and off. Scale this one up a little bit there. This one off. Let's add some pumpkins in here. Nice pumpkin. That one on the ladder. And another one over here. Turn that one off. So let's set the spawn point here. I'm just going to save the Lego right now. So let's have a look how many decorations I've got placed out right now. 119. Yeah, so there's a limit of 1,000 decorations, and as you can see, we've already got quite a bit. This is 1/10 the capacity of the sandbox. I might open that up a little bit if I find that 1,000 decorations is not enough. Let's add one of the audio boxes just behind the truck here. Bring the terrain just back. Let's go to special effects. Let's go with the ambient box. So now you can see that the audio, we're within the audio range. So if we go back and we go to the first person viewer, put some mountables on the side of the barn here. Oh, we also have the new coffins category. So let's add a bunch of coffins over here on the other side of the church. So we'll come down here. Let's go into coffins. I was also going to do this earlier, to put in front of that gravestone. I'm going to put the, one of the new decorations we've got here under miscellaneous, and it is the Ouija board. Just place that right there. And then over here, I'm going to make a little stool. Put the Bible on the stool. Put a witch's hat on that tombstone. Looks like that one is floating. It looks like all the coffins are floating actually. So I need to fix some bugs there. I think if you save and then load it, the coffins are put in the right place. Just see if that works. Yeah, now the coffins are snapped right to the bottom of the train. So there's something weird when they're being set, but now they look fine. Add hatchet right there. Let's see about adding one of the other standing decorations in. The inflatable reaper right over here. Definitely need to add some more buildings in there. Starting to realize how little there actually is to work with in terms of the buildings. Let's add some sidewalk as well. So let's go back. Let's go roads. And then we can come down here and we can use the sidewalk. So let's snap this to the grid again. Alright, yeah, the undo and the redo buttons are broken. So we're gonna have to save and reload this. Alright, I think the size of grid I'm looking for is 16, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, 16 is the one I need. Let's make this one the drain grid, and let's rotate it so it's on the street. And this one, we're going to make it cracked. And then this one here, we're going to make it normal. Whoops. Shoot. There's no way to rotate that house right now, so I guess I'm gonna have to live with it as it is, and I think it's also floating. Right. I'm just gonna load and redo that section. It's gonna be easier than trying to fix bugs on the fly in the game. Sorry. save that this time, so we don't lose our work again. Let's see if we can get the house orientated correctly this time. Alright, we're gonna say the lights are on. Oh, I just realized something. The house colors are not working. There's different variations of color on this model, and it appears that that is not working right now, so I'll add that to the things to fix. Here we go. Nice path leading up to the house. Currently you can't walk up the stairs because the colliders are a bit broken, but we are going to be fixing that so that it works much better. So let's put a pumpkin next to the house here. Steps. And then we're going to put a jack-o'-lantern. Oh! Okay. That's also broken. There's variations of color on this model as well. So let's just see. Yeah, because there's green and orange and other colors with that too. So that's also... It's probably the same reason it's causing the house to be broken. It's probably causing those to also be broken. So let's add a pumpkin with a witch's hat here. Let's add another music box over in this corner.
You've met with terrible fate. You.
Let's add one of the new lights to shine on the side of the building there. So if we come down to the lights category, we can select the shape projector. And let's bring it back here. Let's go with the blue bats. And then on the other side of the house, let's do the spider webs. Modify the terrain over here actually. I'm just gonna toggle these off so I can better see the terrain. so that we can make sure nobody comes over here. I also want to paint this grass over here. Do the same on this side so we can modify the terrain. Here's where Rory's head over here. It also looks like there's a bug where you're not modifying the terrain if your mouse is over the UI, so I'm going to have to try and fix that. Save. Alright, let's see if we can use that stone texture to build a path from the road here over to the house. So let's go paint texture, let's make the brush really small, select this. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So now I'm gonna have to set the height here. I'm thinking now I should add an input box where you can input the height that you want, the desired height. Alright, let's see if we can do that again. Paint texture. texture you wanted. Stone. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Oh, the projector's actually on the fence post. Interesting. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's part of the model. There's like a dead guy right there. This is actually a really cool model. I'm really glad we found this model. Let's go back to Edit Sandbox. Set the start location back here. The lights on off. Oh yeah, speaking of the lights, we can also, let's just save that before I go editing the ambient light. So you can set the skybox to just be black, or we can set it to the moonlight. There's only 3 skyboxes available right now, but we do plan to have additional ones included. So let's what should I do next? Oh yeah. So you can also customize the lighting options here. So the directional light color, let's say we wanted it to be a bit more yellow or red. Let's go with yellow. Let's make the intensity really low. You can also set the ambient equator color, sky color, and ground color. So for this one, let's set it like this. And let's see. Let's get a little bit of rotation. It's definitely more red than I would like. So let's make it a little bit blacker. To 0.4. Oh, that looks great. Maybe let's increase the equator color just a bit. See how the light looks on the side of the house here. So those are the bats that we made. Those are the spider webs. You can also customize it to say we want to set it from the gradient, or we could say set it from the skybox instead. So now you can see it's much darker. I it's almost completely black because of the skybox intensity. So we can come back here and we can say increase the intensity a little bit. Now it's really yellow. Whoops. I want to have that color. I like the ambience of that. That looks really good. Yeah, I'm gonna save that. I like that ambience. You can also customize the audio, so right now it's silent, or we can pick the spooky forest. Let's go with that. Let's go to the first person viewer. And you can hear the spooky forest play. Let's add some street lights in here. Let's build the sidewalk all the way down this side of the road too. Make this one crap. So one can be normal. On this side. Here. Seems to be a little bit weird with the colliders. Let's see if I can get a bit closer. We can build that road out a bit further. Not what I want. Okay, place that one right there. Let's build the fence then. One of the things I might implement is a preset tool where if you select a thing like this, you can set a size and rotation, and then you can hit a key that will set the default, and then anytime you select that, it will automatically give it that default configuration instead of starting at scale 1 and rotation 0. So this I scale up, rotate it. I could just automatically set the preset to be twice as large. How are we doing for the decoration count? 205 decorations. It's pretty good considering we've been doing this for 2 hours now that we can get the 205 decorations in. Let's block this road with the oil truck. So let's go to scenery, vehicles, that's the oil truck. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop the live stream here. I've been going for 2 hours. I've got a good bit of work done on this sandbox. So, I'm gonna save that. And let me see if I can switch back to my desktop here. I really need to go to the bathroom. So that's one of the reasons. Alright. Thank you for anyone who tuned in to watching the live stream. I'm gonna be checking the Google Drive or the Google Forms link afterwards to see who's the winner of the free Steam code. And thank you. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.